Myself, Mr. Mate HT, Department of Botany, RBNB College, Srirampur. Today, we are going to study the T.Y.B.Sc Botany, paper first, BO 331, Cryptogamic Botany, and from this topic number 2, that is the algae. Algae are defined as thalloid, chlorophyll bearing, aquatic plants. Now, this definition of the algae shows the different types of the characters of the algae. For example, aquatic, that means they are developed, they are found in the aquatic medium, that means they are developed in the water. Now, it is a chlorophyll bearing, that means it prepares its own food material, so they are autotrophic in mode of nutrition. And as they are thalloid, that means the plant body of the algae do not get differentiated into root, stem and leaves. So such type of structures are called as the thallus-like structure, and because of this the algae are defined as thalloid chlorophyll bearing aquatic plants. So next, that is the general characters of the algae. General characters of the algae. Number 1, aquatic algae. That means these algae, they are developed in the water medium, so it is called as the aquatic algae. And on the basis of a type of water, there are again 2 different types of the algae. First, that is the freshwater algae. These algae are developed in freshwater reservoirs like stream, ponds, lakes, wells, etc. And for example, nostoc, Cara is there. Number of the algae, they are freshwater algae. And again there is the second type, that is the marine water algae. Marine water algae. These algae, they are developed in salty water or in sea water. Such a type of algae are called as the marine water algae. For example, sargassum and ulva. The next, that is the terrestrial algae. Now there are some algae, they are developed on moist soil. Such a type of algae are called as the terrestrial algae. For example, Botridium. Next type, that is the symbiotic algae. Now there are different types of the algae. For example, nostoc, they forms an association with the fungi, and such a type of association of one algal member and one fungal member is called as the lichen. It's called as the lichen. And the example of the algae, that is the nostoc. And this nostoc, which is the algae, is forms a association with one fungal member, and this association, which is called as the symbiotic association, and it is called as the lichen. The next most important, that is the size of the algae. For example, chlorella, its size is 0.3 mu micron. And there is another algae, for example, macrocystis. It is a 60 meter in length. That means there is a great variation in the size of the algae. Some algae are very, very small. For example, here chlorella, its diameter is only 0.3 mu micron, and another side there is very big alga, for example macrocystis, and its length is about 60 meter, that is up to the 200 feet also. Next character, that is the structure of the algae. Now there is also a great variation in the structure of the algae. There are different types of the algae on the basis of their structure. Structure of algae. Number 1, that is a unicellular algae. And these unicellular algae are again divided in 2 different types, that is the motile algae and non-motile algae. For example, Now these are the two different types of the examples. They are unicellular algae. One is a non-motile, that means it has no flagella, and another, that is the Chlamydomonas. It has a locomotor structure called as the flagella. Then second, that is the colonial algae. They are also called as the group algae. There are also different types of the examples of the group algae or colonial algae. So group algae or colonial algae, and there are again two different types of the examples. For example, ulva. Now these are the two different types of the structures. One, that is the volvox, in which it is a motile colony. That means they have the flagella, they have the locomotor structure. So these are the flagella. With the help of this, they go from one place to the other place. So this is the volvox, it is a motile colony. And this is the hydrodictyon, it has no locomotor structure, it remains at one place only. So this is called as the hydrodictyon, which is non-motile, and this is the volvox, it is a motile colony. And the number of a cell, for example, in volvox, there are about 500 or more than 500, and the number of a cell in each colony is fixed, and it is according to the species. The next character, that is the filamentous algae. Now in the filamentous algae, there are again different types of the algae are found. Filaments are nothing but a thread-like a structure, and here the cells are arranged one above the other, and all the cells are get joined to each other to form a filament. And it is again of a different types. That is number one, unbranched. And for example, Spirogyra. This is the filament of the algae, and for example, this is the Spirogyra. It is unbranched and it is uniseriate. That means only a single row of the cell is there. Only just the cells are get arranged one above the other, and here all the cells are identical except upper one, which is dome shaped. Then second, that is a branched structure. And the example of the branched structure is a cladophora. This is the thallus structure. of the cladophora. It is a branched structure and it is a uniseriate. That means only a single row of the cell, and but it is a branched, so it is called as the branched structure, and example is the cladophora. Third, heterotrichous. Its example is ectocarpus. Heterotrichous structures. Hetero means different. Trichous, that is the filament. That means, for example, in ectocarpus, there are the two different types of the structure. The structure which creeps over the substratum is called as the prostrate system. It creeps over the substratum. It is horizontal. It is on the substratum. And there are some filaments, they are erect, upright. And this system of the branches is called as the erect system. So in this structure, for example, in heterotrichous, example ectocarpus, there are the two different types of the branches, which is called as the heterotrichous. Next, pseudoparenchymatous. Example, Polysiphonia. Such a type of a structure which is the multiseriate, it is called as the pseudoparenchymatous, and it is a branched also, and the example of this pseudoparenchymatous structure is the Polysiphonia. Next, Siphoniaceous. Example, Vaucheria. Siphoniaceous. Here this structure do not show the cross wall. There are no septa. There is a very large structure and they are still single cell structure, and it is a multinucleate. Number of nuclei are there, and in the thallus there is no any cross septa or cross wall. Such a type of structure is called as the Siphoniaceous structure, just like the siphon. So it is called as the Siphoniaceous like a structure. Next point, that is the cell structure. This is the common type of cell structures found in the algae. It is somewhat rectangular in the shape. It has two wall layers. The outer is formed by the cellulose while inner is formed by the pectin. And there are different types of the contents. They are found in the cell wall, but it is according to the species. Now inside this there is the cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm at the center there is the central nucleus. There is the central vacuole and a single nucleus is there, or number of nuclei are also according to the species. At the center there is the cytoplasm, and there are different types of the cell organelles are found. The type of a cell organelle is also on the basis of a species. The most important point, that is the biochemical character. For example, pigments. There are different types of the pigments are found in the algae, and in between these the chlorophyll A is present in all the algae. For example, chlorophyll A, B is there, C is there, D is there, phycoxanthin is there, phycocyanin is there, and phycoerythrin, etc. Different types of the pigments are found in the algae. The next character, that is the color. And on the basis of a present pigment, there are different types of the colors. For example, generally green color is there, but different color are according to the pigment, that is blue, brown, blue and yellow. And these different types of the pigments and these different types of the color, it is a very important criteria for preparation of the classification. Then next point, that is the food material. For example, food material is leucozine, starch is there, oil is there, fat, laminarin, etc. Different types of the food materials are found in the algae.